Hey guys, Coach Chris here. First wanted to welcome everybody to the program and welcome you guys to Park Center. I'm the current girls head soccer coach here, going in my 9th season with the program, my 2nd year here on the girls side. With the season right around the corner, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions on kind of how this year is going to look. I'm going to do my best to answer those questions right now. First question being, where do I go to register? So registration for the program is currently open. There are new instructions as to where you go about doing it on the Park Center Activities website. I'll have a link in the description below, but if you follow it step by step, it'll basically walk you right through on how to get registered and so that you're ready to go on Monday for tryouts. One note to that, you will need to have a physical done within the last 3 years. So if you are a new Park Center athlete or you haven't had a physical done in a couple of years, you will need to have that completed before the first game in order to be completely cleared for the season. As far as tryouts are concerned, tryouts will begin this Monday at 8 a.m. This year we are going to a 2-a-day practice structure, so we're going to be practicing from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning and then from 5 p.m. till 7 p.m. in the afternoon. Tryouts will run from Monday to Wednesday. At the end of practice on Wednesday, you will find out which team you guys are on, who your coach is going to be, and then we'll let you know what your practice schedule is and where you guys are going to end up being. Varsity will always practice in the stadium. The lower level teams will practice on one of the outer fields, whether it be one of the 2 turf fields, the dome, or 2 of the grass fields. It just kind of depends on what that day is looking like, or potentially who your opponent is going to be that next day, and whether or not they play on grass or turf. In regards to practice, we do practice 5 days a week. Basically any day of the week that we don't have a game, we will have a regular practice. As I said before, practice times are still being finalized. I'll get that information out to you guys as soon as I can. But know that basically any day that we don't have a game, Monday through Friday, we will have practice. In addition, as in regards to weather, we practice just like we play. So if there's rain, snow, whatever it may be, expect that we will still have practice. The only time that we will not have practice is if there's lightning. However, this year with the addition of the new Park Center Athletic Dome, we will more than likely end up practicing inside. So I would go ahead and expect to have practice just about every day in rain, sleet, or shine. There has been a couple questions in regards to whether you can play high school soccer and a club sport at the same time. As far as the Minnesota State High School League regulations, at the varsity level, it is not allowed to play club soccer and high school soccer at the same time. However, for the lower level teams, you can do high school soccer and a club sport, although it is heavily discouraged just with the sheer fact that with the 5-day-a-week practice schedule, that does take a pretty heavy toll on one's body. It can be done, but it does take a very high level of responsibility and dedication and responsibility to take care of yourself, rest up, and make sure that you are not putting yourself at risk to getting injured, and just making sure that every single day that you are ready to come back out here and compete. As far as games are concerned, in a regular season we would have about 16 to 18 games. We traditionally have games on Tuesdays and Thursdays, occasionally on Saturdays, but this year with the current COVID situation, there are a couple of hiccups that we have reduced our game schedule to a maximum of 2 games a week. Again, usually will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The current schedule is posted on our new program website at parkcentersoccer.org. I'll have a link in the description below, but we do ask that all athletes show up an hour before every single game, considering if it's home. If it is an away game, I will have a bus schedule sent out to everybody here by the end of the week. And we ask that you guys do show up at least 20 minutes before the bus arrives, just to make sure that everybody is here ready to go and we're not waiting around after the bus shows up for kind of any stragglers or things like that. And one note to that, just know that the bus only stays 5 minutes after its scheduled departure. So if you are running behind, just know that we can only wait for you for about 5 minutes, and then we got to head to the game. There is a form that you can fill out in the athletic office that does allow you to go to and from games with a parent. This year I am a little more understanding of if you feel a little bit safer doing that with the current COVID protocols and things like that. But we do encourage players to ride the bus. It just helps with team bonding and helps get you in the mindset ready to go out there and compete. In addition, as far as games are concerned, we do, as a program, team unity and program unity is a very big push for us.
So we ask all of our athletes whenever they can to support each other. So for the varsity games, we always love for the younger girls to come out and sit with us and watch our games. If you are a Park Center athlete, you do get into the game for free. And on the same hand, the varsity team, we will be definitely coming out and showing our support to you guys and making sure that everybody is staying on the same path towards success. In regards to the current situation with COVID, there are a few protocols that we will be kind of going in greater detail once we get into our individual teams, but there are a few things that we do want to make you guys aware of. First of all, in regards to school this fall, our district is currently going into a hybrid system. If we're being partly in school, partly out, if they do decide to roll those back, or there's just too many issues with cases and people getting sick, they will roll those things back. And if they do decide to do that, unfortunately, more than likely our season will get postponed or canceled. So my biggest ask for you guys is that when we are in season, to do everything in your power to just be responsible about the situation. So if you can, I highly recommend self-quarantining. Like, don't be throwing parties or going to your friend's house all the time and just continually putting yourself at risk. If you do need to go out and do certain things, I highly encourage you to wear a mask. Obviously, I can't make it a requirement, but just know that there is a certain threshold that if so many people get sick, it does potentially risk our season getting shut down, which obviously we don't want to have to worry about, and we definitely don't want to be the school that ruins it for everybody. So basically my big ask is just that you guys be responsible about it. I will say on a couple notes to that in regards to tryouts, when you guys show up, there will be cones set up as we're getting everybody signed in and registered. I do ask that you guys do distance yourself a little bit after you get checked in and everything and you come into the field to get your stuff on. I would ask that you guys give yourselves a little bit of space to just, it's the social distancing aspect of it. We do also ask that you guys wear a mask when you do arrive. Again, it is not mandatory, but it's just an extra precaution to make sure that we're not going to be the ones getting everybody sick. In addition, when we do get into practices, games, and things in the future, this year again with the current COVID situation, sharing water bottles or water or equipment and things like that is going to be heavily discouraged, just because again that is one of the easiest ways for the disease to be transferred from person to person. So please be sure that you're always coming fully equipped with everything that you need for yourself, because we won't be able to rely on each other's equipment and things like that like we have in the past, just because we don't want to be the school that's having issues with transferring the disease. We also recommend when we're going to be meeting in the locker room or when we're going to and from games in the bus, because we're going to have a high number of people in a confined space, we would ask again that you guys do wear a mask. At the varsity level, more than likely this will be a requirement that we will talk about in greater detail when the teams break out. But again, just wanting to add an extra precaution to make sure that everybody's being safe and that we're continually able to compete throughout the season. Lastly, in regards to the players, as far as a communication standpoint, for those that don't know, we do have a new program website that I referenced earlier at parkcentersoccer.org. It's going to be kind of your primary resource for every piece of information that you could possibly need throughout the season, as far as schedules, training, practices, fundraising events, records, statistics, game film, anything at all. All that is going to be on that website, again, at parkcentersoccer.org. I'll have a link in the description below, but basically any possible information that you could need throughout the season is going to be on there. So if you have any questions or things like that, or if you're at home, feel free to pop on there. I update it almost on a daily basis, so just be sure to check that out on a regular basis, just so that you're always in the know on what's happening with Park Center Soccer. In addition to that, we do also have a team group chat through the app Remind. You can find it on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. Again, that's the app Remind. I'll have a link in the description below, but that's basically how myself and all the other coaches send on-the-fly updates as far as practice times, practice and game cancellations, bus delays on arriving back to the school. All those little things is just an easy, simple way for us to get all that information out on the fly without having to just individually send it out to everybody. I'll have a link to our group chat, like I said, in the description below, but be sure to go out there and sign up for that, just so that you're always in the know and kind of what's happening on the day-to-day basis. Lastly, last point here is for the parents. We do have a booster club that heavily supports our program and basically allows us to do and offer a lot of the things that we are able to do throughout the season, as far as bringing on extra coaches and trainers to work with the younger players and help with their individual development. Allows us to do social events. Obviously this year it was a little bit less than we would have liked to do because of the COVID situations, but also pays for our summer training programs and winter and spring training programs that we host in the Dome. All those little things that we offer to try to improve our student athletes and improve our program as a whole, and being able to make our athletes as competitively capable as they can be. It requires a lot of parental support, because as you know, no child can truly reach their maximum potential without great parental support, and the same goes with student athletes, is that we cannot truly offer everything that we would like to offer our kids and give them all the potential opportunities that are available to them without continued parental support. So we do, on our program website, in the upper right hand corner in the sign up tab, there is a link to our booster club. We don't ask for a lot, but any time that you guys can give would be heavily appreciated, helping with concession stands, the press box, fundraising events, or just helping coordinate certain things. Like, it isn't a huge time commitment, but any support that you guys are willing to give would be greatly appreciated. So any of you that reach out to me in regards to that, I again ahead of time, I heavily thank you for that, because I say it just opens up so many more doors for us to be able to handle and do things and make the overall soccer experience here at Park Center a much more enjoyable experience for all the athletes involved. Other than that, if you do have any questions for me, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll have a link to my email in the description below. But I'm definitely happy to be a resource for you. If you have any issues getting registered or anything like that, feel free to shoot me an email or a text to the app or mine, anything like that at all. Definitely happy to do whatever I can to make sure that you guys are getting signed up or getting all your questions or concerns addressed before the season starts. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys. Super excited to show you guys what we have coming out this year here at Park Center. Definitely super excited to see everybody tomorrow for tryouts, and let's go get it.